Namaste, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa Jang, your Yin Yoga teacher, trainer, as well as Yin Yoga practitioner, long life practitioner. Today, we are adding some myofascial release to our yin practice. So you'll need today 2 yoga tune-up balls or any massage balls. If you don't have a tote for them, feel free to use a tube sock and just tie them together for the sequence. I also have a little Pilates ball. It's inflatable, almost like a kid's ball for the sequence. This will help facilitate some of the rolling, but if you don't have one, I'll show you some alternatives. I also have with me a couple blocks and a blanket. You can also use a towel. This will help cushion some of the sensation or blunt some of the sensation if it is too strong for you. Today, we're going to go over our legs. This is perfect after maybe a long hike, walk, or run, or just simply every day. So let's begin. We're going to start off on our all fours. I'm going to put my my little props aside here. And it's always great to have a blanket for your knees. We're going to start off in toe squat for our opening meditation. I know it's a strong pose for the beginning. So if it's too much, as always, listen to your body. And you can always come into a child's pose instead. Now, in your child's pose, you can also kind of lean forward as you're here, or just untuck your toes and then shift your weight back. Otherwise, I'm going to begin in toe squat. As I'm here, toes are tucked, and I'm going to kind of undo my pinky toe as you're there, as I'm there. Now, here's your different gauges in. Now, notice my body is directly over my heels, and so this is going to be more intense. If it's really intense for you today, simply just stand up on your knees and just take one hand to heart, one hand to belly as you're there. You can always do one foot at a time instead. So maybe you just do half toe squat. And how I do half toe squat is kind of maybe sitting on a block as I'm here, maybe 2 blocks, and kind of hang out in half toe squat as I'm here, kind of getting into the toes this way. This is one of the poses, kind of like a coaching stance or like a thinker posture. I learned this from Paul's wife, Susie, and I really like the half toe squat. So if you're doing this one, that's fine. Make sure you do both sides. But let's begin in our toe squat. So draw your sitting bones down towards your heels. Hands, place them lightly on your thighs, closing your eyes. Or one hand to heart, one hand to belly. I'm trying not to cover my microphone as I'm here. Take a slow, deep in breath in your nose. And a slow, deep out breath in your mouth. Soften your shoulders down and away from your ears. Allow your gaze to soften. And just begin to cultivate your intention for your practice. So my intention is always, hopefully, you feel better in your body as you move throughout the rest of the day and the rest of the week. And to provide a little bit more circulation in the areas that we'll be targeting today, the feet and the legs. Take one more slow, deep in breath and a slow, deep out breath. As you're ready, gently start to open your eyes. And from here, gently start to release your toe squat. By all means, put your video on pause and do the other side if you did the half toe squat variation. Otherwise, take a moment there just to come to all fours. I'm going to use my blocks underneath my hands. And from here, I'm going to pitter patter my feet. So I'm going to go on the blanket here just to wake up those feet. Now from here, I'm going to take my massage tools, take them out of the tote, and we're going to start off with the calves. Grab your 2 massage balls And take the balls directly in towards the gastrocnemius. So the area between the Achilles and the knee, right in the center, the middle, the bullseye middle. So let me show you right here. Hopefully you can see that. I know these balls are the same color as my pants. So maybe I'll just take my finger and show you right in that area. So we're looking to release the calves. We're taking our child's pose. Therefore, I'm going to take the tops of my feet on the blanket and then take the massage tools right where the calves are, where I pointed to earlier. Take your time and grab your blocks as you're here and take your time to slowly shift back into your myofascial release in the calves. This is a great one for the legs. It's also an acupressure point. It's our bladder point, part of the bladder meridian in traditional Chinese medicine. Now, when you're ready, taking your time to slowly, I like to come down onto my elbows as I'm here, taking this child's pose with the myofascial release in the calves. And as you do this, gently start to sway your hips. And gently means really go slow. Sway your hips from side to side. And as you sway your hips from side to side, you'll notice the weight distribution shifts more towards your right calf as you shift your hips or body weight towards the right, and then vice versa on the left. Now, by all means, you can stay still. And by all means, if this is too strong for your body, for your calves, my suggestion is going to be using the blanket on top of your calves and then placing the blanket on top. Now, for a lot of my folks that do have maybe knee flexion issues, you can, if you would like, instead of this myofascial release, is simply come onto your seat and do this myofascial release with your legs extended. So I'm going to give you a show here. I'm going to take the balls right underneath my calves as I'm here. And instead of doing the child's pose, I'm just going to take a seated caterpillar pose. And in this one, you can take your legs into internal rotation, external rotation. Notice it's a small rotation as you're here. And then feel free as well if this is like, oh, I shouldn't be folding from my lumbar. And so if you do have that and your physician, your primary care physician said no hinging forward, what I would recommend is just simply just laying down onto your back. I like to add a heart opener in this one if I'm doing the calves. And then hanging out here with a myofascial release in my heart bridge pose. Again, choosing what works for you. I'm going to stay here just simply because I really am enjoying this myofascial release here on my back and with a nice gentle heart opener. Again, choosing which position works for your body today. Now, I do have the timer on, and I am timing the postures. So each posture will be held for about 3 minutes at a time today. The transitions in between will be a little bit more quick simply because I don't have a lot of time. And for video purposes, maybe you don't have a lot of time. But in between each posture, my recommendation is to pause in each shavasana or each rebound is what we call the in-betweens for about a minute or so that you can let the sensations sink into your body and you can really notice this beautiful settling of energy. And also you can discern what you should do maybe in the next round, especially when we target one side and then the other side. We're going to stay here for just another 30 seconds. So taking your time as you're here, I'm going to move my legs around as I'm here. I'm finding it nice just to roll along the kind of more so the outer parts or lateral part of the calves. So I'm going to do more one side. It's my right leg here that is feeling less compliant than my left side. Well, let's see. Let's see. Let me roll towards the left side. It's still tender, tender to the point where this myofascial release hurts in a great way. It's a little uncomfortable, but it's not painful. And that's the same guideline you want to use when you do this practice. All right, take one more slow, deep in breath. And as you breathe out, taking your time to slowly come out of your pose. And I'm going to just bend my knees, take my time to roll towards the side, and take my time to come all the way up. Now, if you were in your child's pose variation, take your time to release the myofascial release tools. And you may want to take a downward facing dog. You may want to stay in child's pose without the massage balls. Again, choose what works for you. Now, our next myofascial release is going to target the big muscles and the tissues that surround the quadriceps. So you'll need the balls toted in the tote. So take your tote inside out. This is a pro tip. And then take your first massage ball into the tote. That'll be one massage ball, and then the other. Otherwise, if you have your tube sock, place the balls in the tube sock and really tie it tight so the balls don't kind of loosen up. What we want is to move our quads, our thigh muscles, and the fascia around it in this channel here. So let's come to all fours. And this is where you're going to grab your Pilates ball to help facilitate movement up and down the quadriceps. We're coming to half frog, half sphinx pose. And again, the massage tool is going to go, I'm going to start off with that segment of the top of the knee, and I'm going to move up the different segments. The massage tool will go underneath your abdomen here, and I'll show you options if you don't have one of these Pilates balls. Again, any kid's ball will work. You don't want it inflated too large. So let's begin on to all fours. Let's start off, and let me turn this way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to start off on that right side. So I'm going to take that massage tool or the Pilates ball underneath my right hip. And this already feels great because it's targeting my psoas as well. Lean towards the side and then take the massage balls horizontally on the top of the knee, kind of the patellar pouch area. Now slide your left thigh up into your half army crawl position. So we're in half frog, half sphinx, and I'm going to start the timer now. So I've propped myself onto my elbows, and right here is where I'm starting to just gently roll up and down into the tissues that are attached or surround that top of the knee. Now your choice as you're here to stay still. You can always come onto your belly as you're here and then stack your hands, one potato, two potato, and allow yourself to tuck or untuck the toes, coming into your beautiful half frog, half sphinx, while in your yin posture, while you're in your myofascial release. Now, your other option as you're here is to bend that right leg and just kind of move it from side to side in internal rotation. This is internal rotation, and this is external rotation. Again, choosing what works for you. Now, if you do not have a Pilates ball, you can do this onto your belly and kind of hang out this way. Notice there's a big dip in my low back, and if this is comfortable for you, because Sphinx pose does target the lumbar, this is fine. But if it is too much of an arch, then I would recommend putting a block underneath the area where the ball was, or simply, I like to get my blanket and just roll that up. Because it is a softer surface, you just take that right where your hip is. And that will also, as you're here, help kind of support your low back. Otherwise, taking that Pilates tool right underneath the hip and then slowly moving up and down. And then I'm going to start to segment a little bit higher. So I'm going to move towards that mid part of the quadricep and slide my blanket back as I'm here. And feel free as you're here, if you find a magic spot or a tender spot you want to linger in, I encourage you to stay. We're not looking to bruise the tissue, guys, so just be sure that we're really abiding by our Goldilocks principle, not too little, not too much, but just right. I'm going to move back a little bit as I'm here. Now I'm not going on the hip crease as well. That tissue there, the psoas or the hip flexor, it's less dense. So you definitely do not want to put the hard tools on that tissue there. So we're going to take a couple more cycles of breath on this side. And there we go. As you're ready, you're going to gently straighten out that left leg to help you lean towards the left side. And we're going to switch sides. So already noticing a difference in how your legs feel. Again, I encourage you to do rebound onto your back so that you can really feel the pose. Again, for video purposes, I've decided just to keep on going. I typically do my own practice of rebound. So I'm going to approach the second side the same way, taking the Pilates ball right by the left hip crease, sliding my right thigh up as I'm here. And we'll start off with a segment of the top of the knee. I spend a little bit more time on that segment simply because this area for a lot of my students is less compliant. So, and it's also surprising for them how much tension they're holding in that top of the knee, the patellar pouch. So again, I'm doing this push-pull motion, and I'm not going fast. I'm just gently moving through the landscape of tissue, as should you. Again, feel free to land here in your more a passive half sphinx, half frog. Take a slow, deep in breath and a slow, deep out breath. Once again, I invite you to bend your left knee and wave your left shin bone from side to side, almost like a windshield wiper. Just really taking your time there. Sometimes I'll kind of lean my body on a diagonal. So not exactly all the way prone, not supine, but a little bit of a diagonal, pressing right hand down, and kind of leaning more towards the top upper lateral corner of that patellar pouch. For me, this area is a very tight, but really what is tight, right? A little more stiff than the other tissues that are higher up in my quadriceps. Now again, feel free to stay here. Just start to traverse just a little bit higher and towards that mid area of the quads as you're here. So once again, a little push-pull action. Again, the balls, remember, they're horizontal and there's a channel in between the balls. And it'll help as you're here, just facilitating getting more tissue on the width of the balls horizontally and getting the balls just kind of rolling along the beautiful landscape of your big, powerful thigh muscles. You can see I'm scooching back a little bit and being a little bit more inquisitive, as so should you. Now, I pushed the ball a little bit further down because it was moving up towards my chest. The ball closer together is going to distribute the weight a little bit more favorably. The ball further away, it's just going to put more weight onto the tools. So again, discern how much pressure you need in this myofascial release. All right, gang, take one more slow deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. As you're ready, take your time to come off the massage tools. Again, all you're going to do is straighten out that right leg, lean towards your right side, and come off the massage tools. And just begin to notice how you feel. Once again, we've targeted already the feet, the calves, and now we've targeted the quads. Let's target a little bit more towards the side of the legs there and towards the IT band. Now, once again, I'm going to use the massage ball with the Pilates tool. And I'll show you a different option if you don't have this with you, again, the Pilates ball. I do encourage you to get it just simply because it just makes rolling so much easier. So I'm going to roll off to the side as I'm here. And I'm going to take the massage balls. Let me show you before I come down. Again, it's going to go a little horizontally across the iliotibial band. This Pilates ball is going to go by the hip, and I'm going to take that massage tool and up and down the leg as I'm here. You'll hear the ball making some squeaky noises, and that's very normal. Okay, so here's your option as you're here, kind of moving up and down the tissue into this side lying position. I have my left leg posted down to help me facilitate this movement here. If you don't have the Pilates ball, here's your option. I'm coming to more of a 1990 position as I'm here, and I'm laying into more of my deer pose twist to get a little bit more of that compression in towards the IT band. Now you can go a little bit higher if you would like, or you can go a little bit lower. And again, this can be without the Pilates ball as you're here. Otherwise, again, we're here and we're here. Now, I love using the Pilates ball simply because when we do roll on the side like this, you can do it without the ball and just roll this way. There's a lot of pressure in my shoulder when I do it this way. But with the Pilates ball, it disperses that pressure more so into the IT band and not focusing on using my shoulder to help support me. Now from here, I'm going to pause and take a figure 4 on my back for my yin posture. So feel free to stay with that myofascial release, but I'm going to go and land to my back. I'm going to use a block behind my head just so that I have something for behind my head. Right ankle over your left thigh. We're just going to spend a minute and a half here, guys. Lift the legs, reach your hands through the keyhole of your legs as you're here. Option to keep your left foot down towards the ground. Taking a slow deep in breath and a slow deep out breath. Now, if you're looking for more, gang, you're going to go ahead and tilt yourself just slightly away from the right side, pulling your left thigh in towards your body to get a little bit more load, more sensation. And And you've got 2 more cycles of breath there. Again, I encourage you to stay maybe for another 1.5 minutes in your figure 4, or what we call eye of the needle pose. Again, for time purposes, or taking it towards the other side. Release your legs all the way down. Roll towards your side. And let's head to side number 2, guys. Okay, so side number 2, same approach. I like to use a blanket underneath my elbow. And again, let's move this box aside and take it right by that left outer hip. Okay, and posting your right leg out, taking your time as you're here to traverse up and down those tissues of the iliotibial band. So as I'm here, I'm just kind of leaning my weight a little bit more forward. I like to get a little bit more of that lateral quad. Notice the massage tools are capturing the lateral quad. And then we have a channel that's right in that goes through the iliotibial band. And then the ball that's more medial is heading in towards the lateral hamstring. Ooh, I found a spot. So you might have found one too. So take your time as you're here, just kind of leaning in. You can do a sideline Cleopatra position if you would like. You can also land to your side of your arm if you would like. This takes the pressure a little bit off the massage tool, which might be a good thing, or it might not be. So again, discern what works best for you. We have about 30 more seconds in this myofascial release. Again, if you really enjoy this one, my recommendation is to place this video on pause, stay and do it for another 1.5 minutes, and then come join me for figure 4. And this is where we're going to head to figure 4. So taking your time to release the tools. Again, I'm going to come onto my back. Figure 4. Left ankle on right thigh, right foot on the ground. Track 1. Track 2, lift your legs, reach your hands through the keyhole of your legs, holding behind your right hamstring or your right shin bone. Leaning a little bit towards the right side will generate a little bit more load. Less load central, less load foot down towards the ground, or even having your foot on a block. All right. Breathing here, really feeling this side, the left side, slowly starting to be a little bit more compliant. Breathe in towards the left side of your low back. Deep in breath, deep out breath. And 2 more cycles of breath there. Again, my recommendation for figure 4 is just to stay another 1.5 minutes. So what I've done is I've combined the 3-minute time with the myofascial release on our figure 4. So that's why it's a little bit shorter. From here, slowly release your figure 4 and just take a moment just to notice how you feel. All right? I'm just going to extend my legs, really feeling refreshed through my feet, my calves, my IT band, as well as my thighs and my glutes. Now this takes us to the end of our sequence. Shavasana is where you're going to go. Feel free as you're here to stay longer in your Shavasana. Otherwise, this is where I leave you. Thank you really for joining in to this beautiful Myo-Yin practice. Again, my name is Lisa Jang. You can find me on Instagram, Yinyoga Muse, M as in mother, U-S-E, or press the subscribe for this channel. All right, keep tuning in. I'll try to produce more Myo-Yin practices. I feel that it is just so needed. in today's society where our bodies are starting to really get stressed and really kind of holding on to a lot of tension. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Namaste.